Tables, Chronicles, it's logical. Tables, Chronicles, it's logical. Tables, Chronicles, it's logical. Tables, Chronicles, it's logical. In a world that's kinda cool, we keep our cool. Nice conversations when we about. Subscribe on Buzzsprout. Subscribe on Buzzsprout.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Tables Chronicles is back again. Your boy KiddNappa speaking, KiddNappa. And right across from me is
Reality Komplex.
Yeah.
Real complex.
Yes.
AKA get your life in check.
Hey,
Let's go.
Do it. Let's do it.
Yes,
Let's do
sir.
it. You
What's
know what I'm
going
saying,
on?
man? What's good, man? How are you, man? How's your week going? How's your day going? How's your morning, your night? For people who are around the world, morning, night, evening, whatever it is, man. How are you?
Somewhere it's morning, somewhere it's evening, somewhere it's night.
Somewhere is something.
Yeah,
man,
somewhere
you know what I'm
something's going on.
saying? Yeah, man. It's one of those,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
But otherwise, other than that, man, on the reality, not on the reality side of things. On the reality side of things, let's talk about about the news of
Yeah. A lot
the
going
city. Let's talk about the
happening.
city. What's happening in the city? Because there's a lot of bad news in terms of the streets, anyway.
on. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say the streets, man.
What's happened, you know?
Sad moments, and it's terrifying. One, it's terrifying. It's very disheartening. Should I say disheartening?
It is disheartening.
Disheartening.
It is
It's very
disheartening.
painful,
Very
and
painful.
it's not supposed to be happening in the first place. And it's very barbaric at the same time.
Preventable as well.
Yeah, this is something. I think we need to go back to the days, because when we were growing up, we were getting the beatings.
Yeah, man.
I think we need to go back to those days of
Hand
the
to
beatings.
skin, innit?
Do you know what I'm saying? I think
Hardcore.
sometimes this what do you call it? This
We're
privilege
being
of
led by our parents correctly.
yeah.
So if
Like,
we weren't
can you
correct,
imagine-
then we got corrected quickly.
Yeah, because you can't imagine, like, growing up, you would have taken a knife and walked around with it, and you would have gone home and been okay. But right now, people are able to do it. They're tucking freaking big
And zombie
big knives,
innit?
man. Zombie knives, man. Like, they're tucking them in and they're getting down and they're getting away with it. Nobody's doing nothing about it. All you keep hearing is another person, another victim, another person, another victim.
It's always talking, isn't it? And the community leaders get together, the police get together, all of these people get together and say, yeah, we've got to tackle this issue. And then, like, you know, down the line, this reoccurs. But I mean, to be fair, you could say it's something that's not an overnight fix. You know, it's something that's long term, and you know, you've got to plant the seeds, I guess, to change the future and to change the outcome. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they need to do it.
It needs a solution, man. And I think it needs a very
And
tight
there are a lot of
restriction, man.
different points of view, because I was watching a few things online, and the majority of the people are saying that it's starts from early doors, isn't it? So you got to get them from when they're young, and you got to show them the right way from young consistently.
I think many are shown the right way. However, it gets to a certain age and they start hanging about when it gets to a group of kids or teenagers get together. They're all nowadays one or two stupid ones, and then there's some who also want to prove that I can also do X, Y, and Z, and that now turns the good person into like a real bad person, if that's the best way to describe them. But at the same time, it's like, why are you being led by an idiot in the first place? Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you know somebody is, first and foremost, why are you even housing the nonsense with people? Because you should never be housing any nonsense with anybody. Period. You're supposed to be a free person to live your life, believe in your dreams, follow your directions, and then you get your adulthood, and you start finding the ropes that you want to lead to by believing and focusing on what you want to do. But like we said before, idiots would always influence one or two other very smart people to become idiots as well.
So let's rewind a step. So let's just clarify for the people and the listeners that are not in the UK. So a young lady by the name of Ellianne Adam, 15 years of age, was brutally stabbed not too long ago by a 17-year-old who was an admirer originally, right?
So I think what happened was, so there was on the bus, isn't it?
Yeah, there was on the bus.
And what the gentleman, he's 17 years old, I believe.
Yeah, you're 70.
He was trying to send an apology letter to his ex-girlfriend, to the ex-girlfriend or girlfriend. Now, the lady, what's her name? Elaine?
Elaine.
Yeah. She basically stood in fence saying that, listen, she doesn't want what you're trying to give. And, you know, at this moment in time, we always talk about mind your business being a key thing in some things. But this is somebody who's trying to stand up for the defense of her friend at the same time. And he had a flower with her which had a written apology. Whatever apology it is, like, first and foremost, the person is 15 years old. Like, what on earth are you talking about? But anyway, let's get to the basic of the story. Because she stood in the way of it, like, no, she doesn't want nothing to do with you, XY, XY, XY. Brother just got into his mode and he brought out the knife and just went for her from the neck down. Yeah, he went from the neck. Yeah, he went from the neck in. I don't know why I said neck down. But yeah, that's when he ended up stabbing into her. And the thing is, people saw this happening, and it happened around, I think it was 8 in the morning, or during school hours anyway.
School.
It was during school hours.
Was there to meet friends.
Yeah. So here we go. So obviously, there's a whole bunch of people who've seen it who should never see it. First and foremost, nobody should see it, period. And there's children there too. Why do they need to see it? Do you know what I mean? And that's a sad situation. So I really hope this guy, he gets good and long time, because really and truly, you cannot affect people's lives. First and foremost, you're 17 years old. The girl is 15 years old. What are you doing in the first place? You're not even at the legal age of even looking at a relationship in the first place. Do you know what I'm saying? And let's call it what it is. And you've embarrassed the whole people.
She is, but she's 16, right?
Yeah, she's 15.
She's 15, so she's below the age.
Yeah, she's below age. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the interesting thing is,
it's not illegal to have a girlfriend and boyfriend, obviously, but
regardless,
the legal age limit or whatnot.
Well, I think for me, the thing for me is this: at 15 years old, none of you at 15 years old, you shouldn't even be looking at a boy as a boyfriend. Do you know what I'm saying? You should be focusing on what you want to achieve from when because you've got exams coming.
That was a lot of it, wasn't it? That was the heartbreak in it, that she wanted to be a lawyer and she had aspirations.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
But
and then she stood up for her friend.
It always seems to be the innocent ones that get the brunt end of,
Right,
these types of things.
Sometimes being the nice person really doesn't help in many cases. That's the one thing I've come to learn. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're standing in there for your friend, and because you stood for your friend, now you're the one who's the victim, and it's like, man, now our whole family gets affected.
Yeah. So let's look at the other end. So let's look at the perpetrator, so to speak, in this case. What do you think was going through his mind at the time to bring it to that level? Was it embarrassment? Was it he thought that was the way to show that he was being a man? Do you think that, males in this generation now have got it all twisted with, the morality of what it takes to be a man, or, what is the right and wrong type of way to exert your emotions? Do you think this generation just are not in tune with their emotions and it's all gone left, basically?
I think this is a guy who literally, he got in his feelings, and he's 17 years old. A man understands when a woman says no.
Yeah, like a real
man will understand. So what is he, a punk? I won't even call him a punk. The words I want to use for him, I don't even want to use them, but really and truly, I hope he gets a good and hard time in prison.
In perspective of things, so this guy, 17, he's deemed it okay at this point to exert that much force with a weapon on a female that isn't, making it a violent situation. It's a non-violent situation, basically, but he's made it, he's taken it to the extreme.
Yep.
So, for me, it's got to be, the ego side that was hurt on that side of things, that's causing him to feel like he has to react in that way. Because someone said to me, there was like a screenshot of his text messages, and he's like, yeah, I had to chef, blah 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 blah. I won't say anything that.
Oh really?
Yeah. They've obviously obtained like his mobile phone and stuff.
And he wrote it. Wait, but at what time did you write that? Did you write that before it happened, or?
I'm not too sure, because these are just things that I've heard, so I'm not going to even say it's
facts.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm just going to say what I could describe it as something that's been relayed to me. You know, when people are looking at different parts of evidence in terms of, you know, what happened in the actual events that took place, and that kind of gave me the type of idea of the type of young man he was in terms of where his mind was at. Do you know what I mean?
Bro,
Because the language that he was using, that you could tell his mind was in that place. Do you know what I mean?
no, I hear what you're saying, but you know what it is? I think for me, I'm at that point where I'm sitting down and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, as a young man, right? Because I even got his background because of Nicholas. He was telling me his background. His background is Uganda, and I'm thinking to myself, first and foremost.
But was he born there, or
is he whichever his background? He's in the UK. But his background is Uganda. That's one thing I find.
Because you know sometimes there's a difference, isn't there, from someone that was, you know, straight from there as opposed to someone that's been.
No, yeah. No, I think it's somebody he's London based. Basically.
Yeah, he's London based.
But it's just like I just find he just gave me, it was like, yo, this guy happens to be from this part of the world, and I was like, how the hell you know? And he goes, yeah, this is apparently in the Ugandan news. It's like up, and he was saying that, you know, his family is not going to hear the last of this. And I was like, well, I mean, at the end of the day, you've killed another child, man. Like, first and foremost, why are you carrying a knife to go and stab somebody because they said no to you? Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, you brought flowers and you brought a little letter to say that, yeah, you're down with it. But you know what? At the end of the day, my friend, that's not how life is, man. You don't always get what you want in life, man. You gotta work hard to get certain things, man.
This is the train of thought that was going down in terms of looking at the wider picture and looking at, you know, the generation of young men growing up now.
Yeah.
And the way that they deal with their emotions, because, you know, like a person like myself, and maybe I could say yourself, kind of old school in that sense, where, you know, when a lady says no, or whatever it is, you kind of know.
Yeah, no is no,
which way
man.
to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or even when they say no.
This guy, obviously, like we said, felt in his feelings, and this was the way he chose to respond. And for me, I'm thinking bigger picture. In what part of society is that okay to feel like that's an adequate measure to respond in that way? Do you know what I mean? Because now we're seeing it's not even like, before we could say, okay, it's gang related or whatever, or, you know, it's physical because someone barged into him, or, you know, there's usually in these situations there's like some sort of measure to the outcome, but here the input of the situation doesn't add up to the outcome of the situation. Do you know what I mean? The scale is completely tipped. And that's even, you know what, it's even because all the other things with gang related things, you could at least say, okay, it's gang related. So, but this is so far from gang related that it's actually not making sense in terms of. No. And then that is that's even a worse red flag than gang related crimes, because this is just like a normal, innocent, young teenager.
Yeah.
Saying no
to
a guy.
And it's not only that.
Because then now
he's 15 years
everyone's
old.
It's gonna be getting to that situation where females are now going to be scared to say anything to a guy. Do you know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man.
It's crazy. And don't get me wrong, there have been other situations where, you know, men have done really bad things to women that have said no. Like, I remember there's an incident where a young lady got punched and she got knocked out like a long time ago.
Yeah, all these things.
So these things have been kind of brewing, but that was the older guy. Not saying it's any better, because it's not. It's still bad. But now we'll get into this level where the kids are bringing out knives.
Well, he's 17. Let's get this right first. He's 17. She was 15.
So teenagers, put them in that.
She's really somebody and she wanted to get a law degree.
Yeah. So
she had her mind on doing certain things and stood up for her friend. And because standing up for your friend and you want to go and abuse that, there's something wrong with you as a 17-year-old, because that's 17 now, the next is 18. And as an 18-year-old, you're considered an adult. So you're literally just a step away from being considered as an adult. And you're abusing your situation because you're now messing with you've messed with a 15-year-old's life for life. Like this guy can never live his life without being the person. And the thing is, unfortunately, because of where we are, we can't even get to see what the person looks like to some extent.
What do you mean?
Because he's under 18.
Yeah, Can't name him.
You can't name him. They can't name him, but they can't. And they also, I think they named him, but we can't see his face. That's what that's the bottom line of it. And the fact of the matter is that you've affected a woman at 15 years old. And this goes back to all these people who are busy carrying knives, busy stabbing people for no reason. Like, first and foremost, most of you guys don't know what is the afterlife. That's number one. Nobody knows what the afterlife is. And none of you guys that's carrying these knives actually knows the damage that you're causing with other people. Do you know what I'm saying? That's really sad.
Yeah, they're saying that it's the first time in 2 years since there's been a fatal stabbing in Croydon. But before that, the number was on, I think, 14. And then I think this year it's gone to 15. But, you know, it's obviously a wider problem. I mean, this is one incident, and, you know, it doesn't make it any less important, just because, you know, we're talking about numbers now. But I mean, the fact is, numbers tell you that there is an issue, you know, with these young people stabbing each other, whether it's gang related or not gang related or whatnot. There's obviously some sort of culture, something in society is going the wrong way at the minute. So it's that how do we now tackle this problem?
It starts off in the community, number one. One thing we need to do is, I think we need to bring back I mean, right now they will say it's very restrictive, and that's a common word that's being used with a lot of people. It's restriction. The thing is, when we used to do the stupidity and we used to get the beating at the same time, and to be honest, when I say it's a beating, it wasn't abuse, it was discipline beating. We need to get a level of discipline to some extent, and most of these guys need to be exposed immediately, because if somebody's carrying a knife, please expose them so that they can be held accountable. They need to be given a super experience. You know what they do in the US? In the US, they normally grab a whole bunch of kids, take them into prison, and let them know this is how prison goes down. In the UK, I probably might have to start doing that as well, but will they allow it? No.
Yeah, I remember I did that once when I was a kid.
The prison one?
We went to jail. You know, the local police station, and they just showing us around.
No, you want the proper prison.
They showed us, you know, the cell and.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, they show you how it looks and all of this. No, we need to get to the bottom line and say, you know what, you're doing stupidity. This is where you're gonna go. This is how you go. This is where you stay. This is what you eat. Because at the end of the day, most of these guys are very comfortable to hear, yeah, everything is good in prison, blah blah blah. But you know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter remains, even most of these guys, I mean, they'll probably be put in some protection custody or whatever the case. But the fact of the matter remains, you need to be put in there and be told that, listen, this is where your life is going to be for the rest of your life. You're never going to achieve nothing. You're not going to be, I mean, if anything is brought to you like a phone, it's going to be illegally brought to you. You're not going to have the freedom of waking up and switching onto the TV channel, going to the kitchen, having something to eat. You're not going to have the freedom of using a toilet, because you're going to be sharing a cell with somebody else, smelling whatever they put down in that toilet. That's what you're going to be smelling. These kids need to start seeing this reality of it, because at the end of the day, we're sugarcoating them by not letting them see these things.
The thing is, like, there's a lot of videos on social media of guys inside in pen. And all they're doing is like playing computer games.
You're playing computer games and showing the good time. Yeah. This is it. But nobody's telling them. Nobody's telling them the reality
doing
is
pranks and stuff.
Yeah. They're doing all of that, but nobody's telling them that, you know, these guys.
That's like on the surface level, you know.
There is that.
The stuff that they're making you see, where
they're making you see like it's cool.
Darker side. So they're giving it that
the cool vibe. But the reality of it is,
no one's really fearing it. Like, the youngsters are not fearing it, because they're seeing all this cool stuff and they think, oh yeah, it's cool, I can go chill and chat to my mates.
Man, come on. And the
reality.
reality.
So maybe that's a good shout. Like, actually putting them into a prison environment from early.
Put them in there. Let them know that. Listen, when you go to the toilet in your house, you close the door. You use the toilet. You do what you're doing in the toilet. You close the door. You come out. You wash your hands, and you carry on living your life. You're gonna put you in a cell. They'll put you in a cell with somebody else. You'll be sniffing what they put in that toilet, and you're gonna be two grown individuals in the same room. And guess what? You can't control how the door is open or closed. You're gonna be told that this time is when it opens. The lights will be shut off, or maybe you might stay awake most of the night. They might give you a TV. You watch the minimal channels that you're given. You're not gonna have access to the digital channels that you have. You're not gonna have access to the phone. You're not gonna have access to the internet. And if you do have access to it, some extent somebody has smuggled it. And guess how they smuggled it? Especially if it's a men's prison. A lot of the stuff that comes in illegally normally comes in from now. Excuse me, I've even hitting the microphone. But the number 2 part of it, it's the number 2 department that is coming through because it's been stuffed in from the back.
Yeah.
And and the back passage, and what comes out from the back passage, that's where they smuggle in the phones or the weed that you want to smoke or the cigarettes that you want to smoke to some extent. Let's be real with these people, man. Let's be real, because if you're not real with them, you're feeding them nothing else but a lie. And the lie that you're feeding them is never going to help them as people, because guess what you're going to be? You're going to be a nobody. And there's nothing as bad as being a nobody. At least get a job.
Yeah. But what about the other side? Going on the side of nurture. So, you know, like back in the day, we had like a lot of youth clubs and things, and you know, this generation has seen the shutdown of a lot of their youth clubs. So they don't have a place where they can develop these social skills, like, you know, how to speak to a woman. Maybe they should even put it in education, you know, from early, saying like, this is how you speak to, you know, the opposite sex and stuff like that, and really kind of maybe create some sort of mentorship with these young guys on how to be a proper man in that respect.
I'll tell you what.
Because maybe it's just guidance. There's no one leading the youth.
We might say
or maybe young. It's the stereotypes that they are looking to. Because, you know, like you see it on, you know, music videos all the time. Guys got about 5 to 20 girls around him and stuff like that, and they're all functioning around him because he's the guy.
Yeah, but it's Hollywood. That's all Hollywood. It's all lights, camera, action.
As a young boy, they're showing you like the outcome of this, that, and the other, but they're not telling you like the reality that to get like a couple of them girls, you're gonna get a bunch of them that are gonna tell you no, mate. So are we, like you're saying, they're being sold a dream?
It's sugar coated.
So when it comes to that situation of them getting rejected, it's like huh? What do you mean? What do you mean no? You can't tell me no. And then it goes from there.
I think from the baseline, I'll even say this, because even with the it takes a village to raise a child, is what we've grown up knowing. Yeah, there used to be a time whereby the person sees you doing wrong could call your mom up and say, you know what, your neighbor will see you doing wrong and can call up your mom and say, this boy is doing the wrong thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your child is doing the wrong thing. You have somebody, the village mentality. The village mentality is no longer in existence.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start calling,
it's
the
like
parent will
anyone can drag you up, like your neighbor.
Yeah.
Your neighbor sees you doing it. Oh, hey, come here. What are you doing?
Yeah. They could
pick
you up. Yeah, they're doing that.
So,
Yep. Boom.
So behave yourself.
Yeah, they'll even call up and say, hey, something ain't right, because this boy was doing the wrong thing. And your parent will end up even pulling you aside and discipline you. And they're like, no. I don't ever want to hear my neighbor calling me, telling me that you're doing the silliness. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So even if you put all of the what do you call them again? I'm forgetting the word that you use. But all the community activities or grounds for them to come up and play in. What do you call them again?
The youth club?
Youth clubs. If you put all those youth clubs in place as well, even when I was coming out, I remember you could go to some of the youth clubs. There was a lot of stupidity you could get up to. You know what I'm saying? But we had a boundary that we knew.
That's the thing, though. Like,
they don't have boundaries.
Like, the boundaries have been pushed so far. Like, now there's just disregard and no fear for anything. You know, like it's like your ego is coming before another human life. You know what I mean? Like the value of human life, and I'm not just saying in this situation, but in others that have happened before. You know, like the regard for it is so low, or like, you know, the worry of consequences of actions. So yeah, maybe I think it does start the root. You know, it's something that's instilled in you from young, but not to say that down the line that still can't get corrupted, man. It's a tricky one, man. I think it's going to take.
It's a great.
To try
it's
and
gonna take a very long time.
Figure out how to tackle and approach it. Like yeah, man, knife crime, man. And I was watching something with Sadiq Khan as well, and it was interesting seeing him directly answer these types of questions. You know, about the way society's going with these problems with knives and things like that, and how do you
the direction of
how do you tackle it, man? What type of things do you implement, and things like who's to blame, and because they do have a lot. Don't get me wrong. They do have a lot of meetings with community leaders and youth workers, and it is quite a mixed bag of opinions when it comes to trying to resolve these situations. Because you have things like knife amnesty, where you can put your knife in,
Drop it down, yeah.
and I saw they were interviewing a few people from the young people from the community of Croydon, and the girl openly said, "Oh, it's not uncommon. It's normalised now. It's normal that one of your friends will have a knife on them, but you're not going to question it because you'll think, oh, if I get into a dispute with this person, are they going to stab me? Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't know what's going through this person's mind. Are they carrying it just for show, or are they carrying it with the intent of doing something? Like, you just don't know. So then you're less likely to question that person. Going back to what you were saying before about people holding them to accountability, like their social groups and things. But then the problem is the social groups don't want to be the next victim. So
for me,
and also there's the responsibility of the shops and the online stores that supply these types of things, because apparently it's quite easy to get these things, like the screening process for someone purchasing these items, these nice and things, is quite blasé.
Yeah.
And those one things that the internet, the people on the internet and the online stores and the governing of the internet needs to hold some accountability as well. So they need to be either regulated themselves more, or they need to do the regulations better. But at the end of the day, we all know when it comes to e-commerce and selling products and things like that, like money over most things. Because as a business person, you've got your own sales targets, and if you've got a store and like a physical store, you've got rent to pay. You've got your inventory sitting there. Like, how do you get rid of all that stuff?
I think personally speaking, the number one thing I will say is that there's people who, there's some people who are buying knives. They're not, it's just like gun. I guess that's why this gun thing comes up as well. There's people who want to own a gun for the sake of having it, just to have it. You know what I'm saying? They want to put it up. There's people who I know who have a whole bunch of different kinds of swords and stuff, and they just want to hang it.
Show that like the art.
Yeah, they want to put them in their living room, and they want to have it hanging there and nobody to touch it. And I fully get it, and I'm thinking, okay, that's all in fair well. But you see, these idiots who are now busy stabbing each other. First and foremost, why do you need to stab somebody? Are you so eager to see blood? Do you know the essence of life? Do you know the meaning of the true life that you're living? No, you don't. That's why you're doing this stupidity, because at the end of the day, you're being an idiot carrying a knife because somebody's gonna come up and shank you up and all of this talk. And if you even look at this shanking talk, first and foremost, shank is a prison conversation, and shanks didn't start in the UK. Shanks were started off in the US when they're busy making shanks from anything they can make a shank from, so that they can stab somebody else. So that's prison mentality. And this is like the first and foremost, why are you paying attention to what's happening in a place that's just, you as a human being don't really want to be there in the first place? Because why do you want to be sitting down looking at four walls and doing nothing, knowing that there's somebody else in control of what you do? And if they're in control of what you do, they're telling you what you can and cannot do. You know what I'm saying to you? There's no freedom. There's no freedom in that mentality. The freedom is in getting up in the morning, you get your breakfast, you go to school, you learn something, and you believe in what you want to achieve as a person. The rest of this carrying knives and trying to do this and trying to do the other. No, man, you're going to somewhere where you're going to be nothing.
Thing, yeah. So someone had a take on this. I think it was one of the community leaders, one of the youth workers, on watching this program, and he was saying it's about the youth themselves feeling like their own life has worth. Because if you get into a situation where you feel like, maybe you don't have any qualifications, you didn't end school too well, you're not confident in the skills that you have, then you feel like almost you've got nothing to lose.
To look at the family history of the people, see where the family history is, and see how they can, if that can be possible, because one thing is for sure, in the African Caribbean community, there is no way they will put you in one of those places and you'll act the same way. I remember that program they used to bring on, I believe it was BBC.
A family member said the same thing to me when he saw like how bad it was, gun crime in America. He said, you know what, One's in America. There's no way I'll be doing certain things that I'm doing now.
There's some things, yeah. There's some things I think.
I'll go work and go home and come home.
Nah. There's some things I think they need to look at some of these guys and say, you know what, that's where your background is. Let's see how we can get you into a school in that region. Because remember that program that used to be on BBC? I think it was BBC, where they used to take a child who's just not
being naughty,
yeah. They used to take them into the country, and then like they would get there. By the time they come back, they change immediately. And half of these kids, you're looking at them and thinking, I remember the one. There was two. The one sent to, I think one was sent to Kenya, and the other one was sent to Jamaica. Right, they changed immediately, instantly, because they met people there that are like, what are you doing, man? This is not cool.
That's the thing, yeah, because
it's not cool.
Stuff like stuff that they think over here is bad, and they think, F the system and all of this stuff.
There you go.
And you send them back over there, look at the system over there where they don't even have half of the equivalent of what they got over here. Then they think, wow, you know what I go through is nothing in comparison. Why am I acting out like that? I'm happy now that I've got this, that, and the other. You know,
I've seen like this gentleman in particular. Because I'm not letting go of this man, because this guy's, I think, he's an idiot. And one thing I will say is that, okay, you've now gone, you've affected somebody's life. And now you've affected a whole family, because they should not be experiencing what they're experiencing. And then there is you just, you know what I mean? You're just sitting down in your position waiting for your court case. You're 17 years old going to the Old Bailey. Now, for those that don't know, the Old Bailey is a big court over here that deals with a lot of like murder trials, big murder trials, and they don't mess around when you go in there. The place is a bit of when you look at it. Actually, Google it and find out the Old Bailey.
So, Old Bailey, is it the equivalent, or is it higher than Crown Court?
Because it's higher than Crown Court. So
it's magistrate.
They're on the same level as Crown Court.
But Bailey specifically deals with like
murders,
high level murders. Right?
Murders, all the murder trials. The major murder, actually, most murder trials will go Crown Court and Old Bailey. When they send it to the Old Bailey, you're
Old Bailey.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But that's in London. Because it's in the city of London. It's not in London. It's in the city of London. So you're in, you know what I mean? You're in the city. You're dealing with a city, and the city has a different budget to everybody else. It's not even like Westminster, where you could say, Westminster, okay. You're dealing with the city of London. Old Bailey, that's where it's at. And it's a place to see, man, because I've actually had the opportunity to be there once or twice. And I remember you see those guys in there, even the way the staffing, the way they do things is so different, man. It's like, wow. And it's like, mate, at your age, 17, 18, when you get to 18, you can drink alcohol. You could go to a bar, drink one of the... guys, for those that don't know, especially in the US, because most of you guys in the US is 21 years old to drink alcohol. In the UK and most of the rest of the world is 18 years old when alcohol can be drank. So this guy, he's 17 years old. This is a thing that I think of, right? And this is why I'm so irritated with it, because I'm thinking, at 17 years old, you're looking at a 15-year-old girl at 17. But then you'll be 18, where you'll be at a bar and you'll be talking with different kinds of adults at the same time. But you are an idiot that you go pick up a knife with a flower, writing a note, and because it was unaccepted, you decided to use the knife and stab the person. You are a schmuck. There's nothing else to describe your circumstances. And they can't tell me anything about mental health or this person being in this position. No. You're a full-blown idiot because you've killed somebody for no particular reason. And then at the end of the day, you're going to be 18 years old. You could be drinking alcohol and finding out what's going on in that part of the world. And you could smoke a cigarette if you want to smoke a cigarette. You're 18 years old. No one's going to trouble you. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Because she's 17, you've done your GCSEs, isn't it? So that's when
you're done. You're looking for what degrees you're gonna be going into. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You're looking at a high school.
And I'm pretty sure he had a dream. I'm pretty sure he had a dream of something he wanted to be. Or if he didn't have a dream of something he wanted to be, he had a dream of being a
It's actually quite sad, man. The whole story is just very sad.
You see how it goes, man. It's like, what's going on?
On both sides, it's a waste of future, isn't it?
Well, not on both sides. It's on one side, it's a loss.
It's a big loss on one side, but even
of somebody who wanted to be something.
Even the guy that did it, it's still him like wasting his life. You know what I mean? because now he's gonna get
he's a full-blown idiot. Man.
He's an idiot.
Full-blown.
But that's why I say it, because he's choosing to throw his life away by committing the act that he's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should put him out for a long time.
But
In
then,
fact, they
yeah,
should
it's
give him.
really bad because of obviously the female and her aspirations and how young she was.
I know because of his age, he's not gonna get a very big. I don't think he'll get a big sentence, but I reckon they should.
I think they'll, because it's so highly publicized. I think they'll try and give him the maximum they can give him, unless there's, like you're saying, mental health or something else pops up. Other than that, because it's so high profile. Like I saw an interview, like I was saying earlier, with Sadiq Khan, and the media are pressing him hard for answers, And yeah, he met with the family as well. He went and met with the family as well. So it's serious. It's big boy. It's a big boy case. It's so high profile, man.
Man, get out of here, man. They should just put him inside and done and dusted. Take him to Africa. Take him to the Caribbean. Beat his ass, man. Beat him.
Instead of to Jamaica, the venom of a battle.
Those prisons ain't a joke, No. I've watched a documentary on YouTube. I watched a documentary on what do you call it? Kingston. I forgot the name of that prison in Kingston, man. Lord, man, those guys are living different, man. Yeah. Even this what's this other country? The Philippines. Anyways, a bunch of them. Actually, no, we'll get into a topic of that later on. Let me not get into it too much because it's going to be another story. And somebody will say, you guys get into it, man. But listen, all I'm saying is this guy needs to be sent somewhere. Even if it's the Philippines, go and take him up there and tell him exactly what he did so that they could deal with him up there. And he knows that, man, I am done and dusted. I'm pretty sure he knows he's done and dusted. I'm pretty sure he even regrets it too, man. But no.
Yeah, imagine what's going through his mind at this point, man. He's sitting in his cell. And the thing is, even on the wing now, like everyone on the wing is gonna know that that's the guy.
That's the guy that did X, Y, Z. Yeah.
Teenage girl.
It's gonna be like one of the episodes we put together of the guys who killed the two guys on the road, the ones who they were given real time on the previous. The Bukhari ladies and. Hey, I actually checked up on that. There's a guy I couldn't pronounce his name. I still can't. Rais something. He got 36 years, I believe, minimal. He's the one that drove the car into the other car to make the impact that it made and then it crashed. And that dude was actually, he had a rape charge against him, but they didn't put it out in the public.
So just for benefit of listeners, check out episode 21.
Yeah.
That's what we're referencing to. Bukhari, mother and daughter.
Yeah. The TikTok lady
killed a young man that the mother was having an affair with.
They killed the two guys, the lover and the friend. Yeah, but the guy apparently he was under some rape charge.
Oh.
And that they made sure that it wasn't put out that he was under the rape charge because he was going through the murder case. And I was like, damn, man, you already were getting 10 years imprisonment for rape. And you're already now involved in a murder, man. This is crazy, bro. Like your life is crime, basically. That most people want to be a lawyer. I want to be a criminal. You know what I'm saying?
But that's how good. Some people are great criminals, whether they're good at it. Not stories, but some people are just like that, innit? That's just they stay in that phase.
I will say this, man, because we are actually speaking about this knife crime thing. And really and truly, anyone that's listening that has children that's coming up actually, it's not only London, it's the whole of the UK, because there was another incident that happened in Hull. It was in Hull. Hull. I don't know how you're going to pronounce that. It's Hull. But yeah, there was an issue they had up there. And it was another stabbing that happened in Hull. So it's all over the UK. Even Scotland is full of it.
Yeah, Glasgow is the highest.
They're full of it. Everywhere in the UK is the knife thing is the gun equivalent of what the US have basically in the UK. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, with a gun, you pull the trigger. With a knife, it's so physical. It's personal. That's like it's so physical, man. It's a bit like
you really lost it to
right.
Do that stuff.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what? No. Let's look at it from that perspective, man. But you know what I'm saying? Because this thing is so serious that even for us, we have not even put our advertisers on it, because this is a serious topic. We haven't put our advertisers on it, guys. because I know a lot of people will be listening and be like, okay, you guys didn't put your, we didn't put advertisers on this because this is a conversation about the knife crime that we're having, and this young lady that lost her life at 15 years old. And there's a whole catalogue of kids or teenagers who are dying.
Go for history, you could.
It's a common thing. Yeah, it's a lot of teenagers. Yeah, looking at this thing over here, man. All the teenagers, they have all their pictures and stuff, and it's like, wow, man. This is a sad, sad situation, and really and truly, it's not. It's something. It's a discussion at the moment, but it's a discussion where we already know that tomorrow morning we'll wake up to hear another story about the same nonsense. And we need to break that bound. We need to actually put the boundaries on these children to know that, listen, what you're doing is wrong. And parents also need to be able to be open to hear what the concerns of certain people are, rather than being defensive immediately because the child is yours. Because a lot of the times, most people are prepared to be defensive. Yeah, you're very defensive.
Especially if the parent is not in tune with what's going on in the child's life.
Well, this is it.
Like, they're not checking where you're going.
What you're doing, who you with, what you reading, what's your plans. Yeah.
What do you have in your room?
This is the things, because, and teenage years is the years of competition amongst each other, man. And it's like, mate, at the end of the day, you have the world on your feet. You can achieve what you want to achieve as a person. As long as you believe and you follow that dream and you work hard, you will get it. So forget about all these things you're watching on TV, that this person is showing this money, that money. That's advertisement for them.
Yeah, you don't know how they got that, or if it's even theirs.
All these chains that guys are wearing, a lot of it is fake, man. But it just looks good to be watched on TV for people to just have a lust, to be like, so if I do this, I can have this. No, man. The reality of it, people, let's be honest. Unfortunately, I'll even say it, it's affected a lot of children. Rest in peace to all the persons and to all their families. I put nothing but my heart towards you, because what you have to deal with is very, very, very hurting as a parent, as a family member, as anything related to it, and anybody that witnesses it. You don't want to see you don't want to be a witness of pain. It's not something nice, man. So what you want to witness is, you want to see happiness. You want to see people achieving and people, graduating and talking about, I worked so hard and I got myself in this position. COVID came in and it messed up this and that, the other, but COVID also has benefited other people in another expense. But the problem is the knives have not been put down. And there's places where you can put your knife in there. I think I might even just have to say that we will hold a moment where we tell people, hey, drop the knife here, we'll hand it to the police for you, man. Do you know what I'm saying? People, there's nothing futuristic about grabbing a knife to go and stab somebody. There's no future in that at all. There's no future in looking at four walls and smelling another man's toilet business at the same time. There's no future in that. Do you know what I mean? The future is in being free. 18 years old. This guy's 17. I'm sure 17, you could go to Spain on holiday, chill out with people. You know what I'm saying? 18 years old, go to Tenerife and see what's happening in Tenerife.
It'd be interesting to get a bit of insight into his background, his family life, his life in general, just to see if that has played any part in the mindset when it came into the situation, And I'm just wondering, how do you get triggered that hard?
All of them. I always wonder with all of them, how did they all get triggered to that extent? Because it's like, are you
I'm saying, I can understand, the gang thing, pressure, peer pressure, and all of that, but there's no peer pressure in the situation, man. The girl just wasn't on it, man.
He wasn't even part of a gang.
I know, that's the thing. It wasn't even gang related or money orientated. You know what I mean?
Bruv, it was over a flower and a note of saying sorry, and because somebody told you no, you bam in their neck, and people are watching you, and it's rush hour time. Schools are going into school. Come on, bro.
So it wasn't the actual girl that said no. It was the person telling.
It was the friend. No. It was the friend.
The friend of the girl.
It was the friend of the girl. Yeah. So my take on it is that it's the friend of the girl said no, leave her alone or something along that line, and because she interrupted it, that's it. And it happened at a bus stop, so it wasn't even on the bus. It happened. It's like, bruh, really? But then again, you know what I mean? It's very, very, very unfortunate, and I really feel sorry. I feel for this lady, and I feel for her family, and I ain't gonna lie. She looks like a pretty girl that was gonna grow up to be something major.
Yeah, she
know
was
what
a,
I'm
a big feature in front of her.
Yeah, man. So now a whole bunch of people are affected, and she's gone. That's a picture, actually. I don't know if we should put it online.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could be your niece or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, family member, could be anyone's family member.
It is, man. It is, man. But I think we should even end it on this one, man. Honestly,
Yeah, and I think that's. But the thing is, it's like we pointed out, it's not a new thing, but I think it's the innocence of the whole situation. It's the innocence of the victim at this point that's just screaming at people saying,
"That's everybody's."
This is a travesty. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
It's happened before. Like we saw, like, you know, was it 2021? It was 14 people. So there's been 14 others, but this one specifically is such a significant situation because of the innocence of the victim. Not saying that the other victims are any less innocent, but it's just one of those things that just stand out. And you're saying that, you know, red flag. All these young people.
Yeah, all these guys are gone. And you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if the camera is catching it, but let me not even show it because obviously. But it's on Yahoo anyway, so
yeah.
Whether the people, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's disheartening, man.
Do some editorial things with that.
Yeah, I mean, guys. But anyway,
anyhow.
I think we leave it at that one on this one, guys. It was nice. It was not nice. I wouldn't say it was nice. It's a conversation to be had, should we say?
Yeah, something that needs to be highlighted, isn't it?
And for the first, actually, in all the episodes we've done, the two of us are a bit you can even hear.
Yeah,
we're a bit pissed off about this one.
It's a bit.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a downer, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
But there is a side note. One other aspect of it is stop and search, which can spiral off into a whole other topic.
That's another subject altogether.
Yeah,
but
because of this incident now, because, you know, certain parts of the community are complaining about stop and search. But one thing that was also highlighted was that stop and search actually discovers a lot of these zombie knives, so they get the opportunity to take it off of the person before they actually do something by just randomly stopping and searching people.
Bro.
But then I guess the argument, the debate is, what about the people that aren't, you know, part of that culture of carrying these things?
I think,
and they feel like they're having their their own human rights violated.
I think
stop and search. So I guess it is a whole new other debate.
I'm gonna keep saying this.
But I think now it's gonna go mad now because they're gonna have to ramp it up,
bro.
Probably in the mornings as well. So now you might get the latter happening where you're gonna get lots of innocent children now having to be frisked and stop and search, and metal detectors into schools and all of these types of things, man.
I don't know about metal detectors into school, but
because there was a politician. No, it was a.
I know they talk. They talk
so that. You know, policy.
I will say this, right? This is what I will say. This is why I keep saying I think. Listen, stop and search, guys. Yes, it's affected the black community for a long time. We all know that. I've been stopped and searched before. We know that we know it affects, and also there is, like I always say, the police are a solution to some extent, and there's also a problem in the police to some extent as well. The fact of the matter is, they need to actually just make it straightforward. Let's be straightforward. There is a problem. Can you put the police in there? Let them be heavy-handedly. Come in there. Stop, search, go. Stop, search, go. You got it. We got it. We caught you. You answerable. Send down this way. They need to be holding people accountable because you're letting people go. And we keep playing the racial card a lot of the times. It comes down to the race of people. But what they need to start doing is, you know what, this knife thing. There's white kids also affected. There's black kids affected. There's Asian kids affected. Everybody's affected by it. So what they need to do is start putting this stop and search. And what they need to start having is police. They've cut a lot with the police, but they need to increase the police numbers. And the police also needs to now be seen more presently where schools are. Because when the police are seen, the people who want to start trying to do or influence people to become stupid will start thinking twice. Because guess what? In an instant, click your fingers. Now it's me clicking my fingers a second ago. As soon as I click your fingers, you know that, boom, we've got you. Can you explain exactly why you're acting a bit fidgety. You're gonna be stopped. You're gonna be searched. That's the reason. Boom. You haven't got anything. You can carry on going. Do you know what I'm saying? Because most of you are not even going to talk about it because of the fear of talking about it. But if those who know that somebody is doing it, even find a way to write a note and put it somewhere. Create this place where they could start saying that, you know what, this person might be carrying a knife. Can it be checked out?
But this is the thing, yeah.
Because that's a
We like
village.
to say this stuff when things happen, but before that we're saying snitches get stitches and all of these things.
No, there is that.
Snitching.
I've always said it. You see,
So
I've always been.
I think this is where, as a culture, we need to take accountability in that sense.
I will tell you.
Is it, yes, when something happens, you must speak up, or you can speak up but not to them? Do you know what I mean? Like, which way is it?
I will say this, right? I will say this. Snitches get stitches and all that nonsense, right? That's people who are involved in heavy crime, right? So all these little peddlers that are walking around saying snitches get stitches, yada yada yada. These are people who can't even bear prison for 1 second. Live alone that the fact they can be put there for a week. You understand what I'm saying to you? So you want to walk around saying stitches get stitches? Okay, come, let's get you the position. That's all I said. Bro, I'm so pissed off with this whole thing. I'll be honest with you. That's why I'm not even understanding anything I'm saying. But here's what I'm gonna say is that at the end of the day, if they give these people, you want to talk like this, you want to act like this, you want to walk around with your pants halfway down your trousers because you think you're gonna be the coolest thing. Let's teach you that, you know what, that fashion is not really a thing at the end of the day. This is a fashion that it came out from a prison in the US. You know what I'm saying? Where you're just,
it's actually a sign to say that it
was the numbers. No, it was the numbers, wasn't it? They used to put the prison numbers on the boxes or something, or somewhere along their belly. So that's what
I me was due to homosexuality. So if you put your pants low, it means that you're up for like a quick phone back on.
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna go into it because what I'm saying, I think it's in relation to, there used to be a prison number on them or something, so they used to have it available to be seen, and that's what the whole thing came down to. But when you look at it, really and truly, stop sagging your pants, pull up your pants, belt up yourself, be a bit decent, and do something a bit different to everybody else. You don't have to be an idiot. Why are you being an idiot for? An idiot never gets far. I mean, an idiot doesn't even get a degree for being an idiot.
Well, this is the
do you know what I'm saying?
I think at the time they don't see it as being an idiot, do they? Because everyone else around them is doing it. So if they're doing it,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So you look at it as an idiot, you don't get a reward. As an idiot, you don't get a reward for being an idiot. At least a law, if you're studying law, you become a lawyer, you'll get a degree for having the law degree, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to become a chef or somebody, you'll get some form of a reward.
But this is the thing. It goes back to what I'm saying about people finding value in their life. So people feeling that, you know, their life is valuable and they are worthy of things. Because when you feel like you're not, then it doesn't matter what you do. You'll do other things to get gratification, you know. So to some people, it's the gratification of their peers. So if their peers are all doing something, they think, right, if I do that and a bit more, then I'm going to get respected.
That's what I say.
Because they don't have the respect in it. Like you say, if you're a lawyer, you get a certain amount of respect in your trade. If you're a doctor, you get a certain amount of respect. You know, people love and respect you because of
nobody gets
what you do. But
nobody gets a reward for being an idiot. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody gets a reward from carrying a knife. If you're carrying a knife, you're going to go to a cell to explain yourself why you're carrying it. So if they're going to start the stop and search, let them increase the stop and search. Let them increase police that are going to be available around schools where we'll put people off who want to be stupid. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Because otherwise, it's a long-winded story, and people need to stop. And this is one thing I will say: stop using the car.
We see it as stupid, but what I'm trying to say is, at that point in time, that person doesn't see it as stupid.
No, I'm not disputing that.
Cool kids, isn't it?
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. That's what I'm saying. They need to start people that coming in there to start showing them like, guys, you're idiots.
Yeah, they need people that have been through it, like talking to
them.
Yeah,
that's it.
Say, look, this is what happened to me. I used to be like that.
That's the key thing.
And I went down this path.
That's the key. That's the key, man.
But
anyway, let's leave it on that one. And let's even say goodnight on this one. Because I think we've had a bit of a conversation about it. And let's just say, let them put stop and search, and let them put some decency behind the stop and search, because that's what people will start crying for. And people need to stop looking for the excuses.
There needs to be the right amount of intelligence.
Exactly. They need to. But the thing is,
in the right way, but not abused.
Well, this is it. And what we need to have is people actually not accusing the people of abuse when we have this kind of a problem.
Mm.
We need people to stop doing that, because that's another thing that's really messing things up. And they need to increase police numbers. And if they need to increase the police numbers where the schools are, please, the government needs to do all of that. You know what I'm saying?
This is the thing,
so that we can have peace.
And then that goes into another topic about people from our culture and community going into the police force.
This is another thing. You guys need to stop saying all of that, because people are always walking around. Actually, let's even end it, because you know what? That's a subject for another day. That's a topic for another day. Because if you want to be a policeman, if you're black, go ahead and get one and be one. If you want to be a mayor of London, go ahead and do it. If you want to be the prime minister, you can do it. I mean, right now the prime minister of the UK is an Asian-looking guy. You know what I'm saying? So let's leave it at that, man. But yeah, let's just say peace out on this one, man.
All right,
You know what I'm saying?
Good night, peace, love, and respect.
Yeah, man. We ain't even gonna put the advertisements on stuff that we normally put advertisements on, guys, because this is a topic whereby a very young person's lost their life, and we're discussing a bunch of children who have passed away because of people carrying knives, and it's affected them. And you know what? I'm pretty sure it's gonna affect some of you guys who are listening, because there's somewhere in the world who's probably been killed by a gun too. And on that note, I will say, have a good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. This is Tables Chronicles. Have a good night, good morning, and again, good afternoon. Peace.
Oh, wow.
Adios.
Tables Chronicles, it's logical. Tables Chronicles, it's logical. Tables Chronicles, it's logical. Tables Chronicles, it's logical. In a world that's kinda cool, we keep her cool. Nice conversations when we about. Subscribe on Buzzsprout. Subscribe on Buzzsprout.